muscles in our head. This muscle is going to be frontalis. Part of our eyes is going to be orbicularis oculi. When it's round, it's going to be called orbicularis. This is going to be orbicularis oris. Muscles down here, they're going to depress your mouth and your lip. So therefore, they're going to be called depressors. You're going to have depressor angulis oris, depressor lava inferioris, and you're going to have mentalis in here. On the side, you're going to have the rhizoris that is going to elevate the corner of your lip up when you are smiling. What elevates your lip up? You're going to have two muscles that will go towards your zygomaticus bone. These two muscles, one of them is going to be the zygomaticus major, and the other one is going to be the zygomaticus minor. If we scroll down, we have a lateral view of these muscles. This is the frontalis. This muscle is going to be temporalis. So this is going to be the occipitalis. Right here in the top, we do not have a muscle. We have a membrane there called the gallia aponeurotica. This big muscle right here, this big muscle is going to be called the masseter. That's the muscle that we're going to use for chewing. Right here, this is going to be the buccinator that's going to help us, for example, to play the trumpet, to inflate the balloon. In your neck, we're going to have this flat and wide muscle. This is going to be called the platysma. It covers basically the entire neck. If you remove that muscle, there's going to be obviously other muscles in that area that we don't see because the platysma is covering those. However, we can see through the platysma this big muscle. So this muscle right here is going to be called the sternocleidomastoid. That muscle is going to help us to move our neck from left to right and right to left. You can see right here the platysma in there. But you can see the sternocleidomastoid muscle right there. In the back of your neck, you're going to have the splenius capitis. We scroll down to thorax. In there, we're going to have internal intercostals and external intercostals. So they're going to be located in between your ribs. You're going to have these muscles right there. And you can have them in here as well. If you look at the front of your thorax, you're going to have pectoralis major. The pectoralis major covers your thoracic cavity like this in the front. If you remove the pectoralis major, you can see pectoralis minor. It's smaller and it's in this area. After that, we have the abdomen. In the middle of the abdomen is going to be the rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis is what colloquially we know as the six-pack, as you can see right there. The rectus abdominis covers the middle of your abdomen. The side of the abdomen, right, all this area right here, it's going to be covered by three other muscles. They're going to be called the internal oblique, external oblique, and transverse abdominis. Right, this is going to be the external oblique. Then you have the internal oblique there and the transverse abdominis right there all the way inside. You have external, internal, and all the way inside, you're going to have the transverse abdominis. If we go to the back of our body, this is going to be the trapezius. In addition to that, we have the latissimus dorsi. Deeper than that, so if we remove all these muscles, that's the spine of the scapula. So therefore, this muscle on top of the spine, that's going to be the supraspinatus. This muscle below the spine, that's going to be the infraspinatus. Below those two muscles, you're going to have the teres minor and teres major. Next to the internal border of your scapula, you will have the rhomboid major and rhomboid minor. And right here, you have your deltoid. Muscles in the arms. In the anterior part of your arm, you're going to have the biceps. This muscle from your armpit to the middle of your arm, coracobrachialis. From the middle of the arm to your elbow, the brachialis. From your elbow all the way down to your forearm, you're going to have the brachioradialis. Most of the muscles in the anterior part of your forearm, they are going to be flexors. So we have that in here with a little bit more detail. This is the anterior part of your arm. So we said this is going to be the brachioradialis. This is your carpal. This is where your radius is. Therefore, this is going to be flexor carpi radialis. This one is where the ulna is going to be, more or less. So this is going to be flexor carpi ulnaris. And between those two, this is going to be the palmaris longus. These ones are going to be extensors because they are going to be in the posterior side of your arm. This is going to be brachioradialis around this area again. This is your radius, so therefore this is going to be extensor carpi radialis. This one is going to be extensor carpi ulnaris, and in the middle of extensor digitorum. You're going to have deeper muscle having here anconeus and extensor carparis longus. These are deep muscles. The muscles in the leg. On the back, we're going to have gluteus maximus, intermedius or medius, and minimus. Okay, opposite to these muscles in the front, you're going to have muscles right here. psoas minor, and the iliacus. In the inner part, we're going to have this set of muscles, which are going to be the abductors. So this is the abductor brevis right there. This is the abductor longus right here. Okay, and if you remove those two, underneath that, you're going to have the abductor magnus. It's more or less in this area like that. This muscle right here on the border, that's going to be the gracilis. If we scroll down, we got right here the anterior and the posterior muscles that you have in the superior part of your leg. We're going to have this set of muscles, the quadriceps. The quadriceps is going to be composed of 4 muscles: the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. This is the rectus femoris. This is the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. And you don't see the vastus intermedius because you need to remove the rectus femoris, which is this one. If you remove this muscle from here, underneath that, you're going to find the vastus intermedius. So you're going to have a muscle right here that is going to start in the iliac spine, basically, and it's going to go straight down towards your knee. That is going to be the tensor fascia latae. Starting also same iliac crest, you're going to have another muscle that goes down to your knee as well. But instead of going straight, it will cross your leg and go to the inner part of your knee. That's going to be the sartorius. In the inner part, we said that we're going to have in here the abductors right there. In the posterior part of our leg, we're going to have the hamstring. The hamstring is going to be composed of 3 muscles: the biceps femoris, the semitendinosus, and the semimembranosus. Okay, this is the biceps femoris, this one right here. Semitendinosus is going to be this one. And semimembranosus is going to be kind of like underneath that one right here, this area. The bottom part of our legs, we're going to have the tibialis anterior. These other muscles that you see right here, these are actually posterior muscles. The thing is that you can see them from the front because we don't have that many muscles in the front. So if you look at the back of your leg, you're going to have this one, the gastrocnemius. This is what people call the calves. You can see the gastrocnemius, and underneath that, you can see here the border, part of the border in here as well, of this other flat muscle, the soleus. If you scroll down, we can see that we have other deep muscles in there. So right here, you can see this is the gastrocnemius. If you remove the gastrocnemius, you're going to have this muscle right here that is flat, basically, but it's wide. That's going to be the soleus muscle. Then you have even deeper muscles, the flexor digitorum, right, and flexor hallucis. These are going to be the muscles for your toes.